Welcome to Rediscover the Verde Valley. I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio with the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. And with me today is my old friend, and I don't think that there's probably nobody out there that doesn't know you, right?
There's a few. I'm meeting new people all the time. I love it. I love it.
Coleen Gilboy. How are you? Pleasure.
Awesome. I love to be here,
Coleen,
Christian.
you are the director of the Verde Valley Fair Association.
Correct. I've been there for 6 years now.
6 years. And it's taken off. It's going places. You said you wanted more people to come to the fair, and you got what you asked for, huh?
I wanted the Fairgrounds to be a community facility, and we've got that.
I'm amazed every time I drive down the street there and I see all the banners of all the events that are coming up, and I mean, you're rocking it. You're making a lot of things happen there. It's amazing.
We love it, and you know, it's a place. We're big enough.
Yeah.
We have parking. We have buildings. We have camping for events.
Right.
That's a big thing. When you're putting on an event, there's people coming from out of town.
Right.
They need a place to stay. They don't want to stay an hour away. They want to stay right there.
Yeah, and it's convenient, and it's a nice area. You know, I mean, you've got a good property. You're making all kinds of improvements on it, and every time I come out there, I see something new. It's exciing.
Well, hopefully today we're drywalling the new bathrooms.
Oh, wow.
So
right.
that'll be the best. That'll be the best addition.
And it's definitely a community event center, a community-driven property, right?
Right. We have our youth groups that do animals, which obviously are related to the fair. But then we had our event last weekend, and we had the basketball team there. They were helping with parking.
Right.
We have
everybody gets involved. Yeah, it's nice, huh?
That's right. We had welders there doing the pumpkin chunking. So we are very involved in the community. We had people with horses there.
Right.
So we have many aspects. And we had a quilt show.
Right.
We had an art show. El Vallay is having an art show there in November. I mean, there's just always activities for the community.
Right. It's awesome. Well, and it's not just crafts or horses or other things. I mean, the chamber does its job fair there. We have a lot of other events that we do there. And you do a lot of like dances, quinceañeras, all that kind of stuff.
Wedding receptions, reunions, family reunions.
Yeah.
They can camp there, they can stay there, they can rent the building.
Right.
So it's just a great community facility.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. You're doing really good work out there. I'm proud of you.
I'm
glad to say I know you.
Not all the time when I'm calling you and asking you.
All the time, hon. All the time. So tell us a little bit about your history here in the Verde Valley. I know you've been here for a very long time, and a lot of people probably know you from Mr. Gilboy, right?
Correct. So I actually was raised here.
Yeah.
And went to school here and graduated from here and swore I, like everybody else, we'd never come back. There's nothing to do. And so I came back with our kids and my husband, and we are very involved in the community. We love it. My mom is still here.
Yeah.
So it's just a great family.
Got a lot of family here, yeah.
Yeah, they keep moving in.
Your brother's here too, and he does some volunteering for the chamber too, and
so when you related to me or a friend, you have to volunteer. So well, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to me.
It is a big deal. It's important, and it's funny you said that because we're struggling right now at the chamber office with our volunteers, and it seems like that generation is going away, that we're volunteerism, that whole concept of giving back to your community and being a part of and involved in everything. So
we've noticed it with Girl Scouts getting leaders for years. I don't have that time at the fairgrounds. We thrive. That's how we put on events. And we just don't. And it's very, very hard. We had quite a few volunteers this past weekend of young youth. Right. But then when they get into high school and they have families, they don't have that time and they want to be with their family.
So I got a new challenge for you. We're going to keep those young youth engaged in volunteering.
Okay, now go to the chamber. Now go here.
We're going to start a youth program for volunteering. How's that?
Oh, it's needed.
It is. It's very needed.
And they learn a lot of skills.
They do.
I mean, we had them doing cashiering. We had them greeting people, and that sounds like a simple thing.
You're learning a lot of soft skills and important skills that you will take out throughout your life, and
you're meeting people. And that's
you're
a big
opening
deal.
doors.
That's
exactly.
right.
That's huge. That opens up job opportunities and all kinds of other things for you.
That's right.
Right.
So it is. It's a great thing, and at the fairgrounds, like a lot of our projects, we had VACT, which is through our property taxes supports the VACT program.
Right.
They came over. Mr. Black, Mr. Black, the teacher, then when they do concrete work, block work, they would form up corners, and then they would grade them, and then they'd have to hurry up and tear them down before they solidified.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop doing that. At the fairgrounds, we have this, we have this, we have this. So they come over, they can do their
It's real time.
class,
it's real work, right?
Their class work. They don't have to tear it apart, and they're making improvements for future generations at the fairgrounds.
Right.
And so the bathrooms that I was just hinting at, they did the roofing.
Right.
And they did the interior walls. They did all this stuff. They helped the electrician. They did help.
I love that. So they're actually out on a real job, learning real life skills, and it's amazing.
Because in the classroom, you can only talk about how fast concrete will dry in the heat or in the cold or in the rain or whatever. And so it's really been awesome to work with that and do a partnership because we're accomplishing things. You know, and
wow, that's pretty cool.
It's really cool. And they can say, because you know everything at the fairground is older, they can say in the future, I helped build that.
Right.
That I was a part of.
And you're coming back to the fair with your kids, and you're going to say, I built that wall. Or
We have a gentleman who helped plant the trees. He was up there. I'm like, I need help. He helped us. He goes, can I bring my kids? I'm like, yes, forever. Every year you can say, I helped plant this tree.
Right. That's too cool. That's awesome. So speaking of kids, tell us a little bit about your kids.
They're getting old.
Yeah, I know. You were just saying that you didn't have to deal with a graduation this year, but
So last year Stephanie got her doctorate in physical therapy, and so she's practicing down in Scottsdale.
That's awesome.
So proud. And then Mikey Joe is at the Ohio State. And so
and freezing.
He's not used to that much moisture.
Right.
And the difference in the moisture and the cold, it's been chilly for a while.
It's tough for that Arizona blood.
So he's coming home in 3 weeks, and I know it's going to be like laying in the sun, sunbathing. So they're doing great.
Our winters will probably be mild compared
to his. I know.
Too funny. So, you know, and speaking of volunteering as well, so both of your children helped out at the chamber. And can I convince her with her doctorate and everything to come back and still work for me?
I can't even get her to work at the fairgrounds anymore. She's like, I don't have time.
No.
She does. She's coming. Actually, she's coming to help with the Cottonwood Christmas Parade. So we'll talk about that when we get into there.
Awesome. Love it.
She's already booked her. She's like, I'm taking the day off. She's bringing some other fellow colleagues, and they're all coming up to see what the parade is about.
Cool.
So,
Good
and
deal.
I'll put them to work.
Good deal. So, no grandkids.
No grandkids. No.
You don't know what you're missing.
I'll use yours. I'll bring them over. Let's give them some more time here.
So tell us a little bit more about some of the things you're involved in. You actually sit on a couple boards.
I do. I recently got elected to the Verde Valley Fire District Fire Board.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know what I was doing.
And actually my son and my son-in-law both thank you. They're both firemen and they both work out there. So
I didn't realize that.
Dylan Sherman is my stepson, and Jake Piper is my son-in-law. Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, so
it's great. We do need more volunteers there as well.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Like we just talked on. It's hard to get the volunteers.
It is.
And that is a thankless job, but it's our community.
Right.
It's our fire service.
They're coming to our house.
That's right. And you know, we're very thankful that we're not going through. Sorry about that.
Yes.
California. What they're doing.
Right. It's hard.
Yeah, but this is our homes. This is our, when there's an accident, we have the ambulance reporting. So it's a very, very important part of our community. So that was, I started in December last year.
Yeah.
And then I was elected or told, I'm not sure which one it is, to the Arizona Fair Association. The vice president. I missed a meeting, and that's always what happens.
Always happens, yeah. You can't flinch, and you have to sit on your hands, right? So.
Right, and I wasn't there, and they elected me.
Smart people.
I know, but then after, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, great. And they're like, and by the way, that means you're putting on the convention for everybody. And I'm like, hold on. So
But you're good at this. You did the last one, right?
Yep, I did, and changed it up, and we added outside entertainment, and so this is where the fairs for all of Arizona go and meet entertainers, food vendors, carnivals, and that sort of thing.
Right.
So that's where we can, and also we network, like what happens when the power goes out during the fair.
Right. What do you do?
What do you do? I had never thought of that.
You've never experienced that, have you?
No.
Oh.
But what was really interesting was like the carnival has generators because they have to run a lot of theirs are on generators. And the food vendors have generators on their rigs because they can't go down. And so that was just a light bulb moment for me.
Right.
And
it's funny, if you have never experienced it, I guess you wouldn't expect it.
Right? And then we took it a step farther, and we're like, okay, and then entertainers, they know how to direct people, so then have them help get people back calmly in an organized manner. So that was a great class. Right. And then I added outdoor entertainment. A lot of entertainers are outdoors, and so our convention had always been indoors, and I'm like, well, there's all these outdoor vendors.
Well, and the weather around the state, for the most part, is a great place to have outdoor.
Be outdoor, right?
Right.
I mean, most fairs, there's a few fairs that don't even own their facilities.
Yeah.
Yavapai County doesn't own their facility. Northern Gila, which is in Payson, doesn't own their facility. And so they have to rent Maricopa.
Right.
Maricopa has to rent the state fairgrounds. Oh, wow. So those three facilities don't own their facility. Fairs don't own their facility. Right. So they have to go in and do stuff. So talking about these kind of things works us all through. But we put on outside entertainment, and the hotel was a little nervous, to say the least, to have entertainers outside jumping motorcycles and bicycles and that. And then this year they're adding a whole new dimension. So they're just taking it and run.
Excellent.
So
we're going to take a real quick break. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit more, okay?
Okay.
We'll see you guys in a minute.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
Welcome back to Rediscover the Verde Valley. Again, I'm Christian Oliva Del Rio with your Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. And with me is my good friend Coleen Gilboy with the Verde Valley Fairgrounds. I almost said the Cottonwood Fairgrounds. Oh my goodness.
Right.
Been here for 26 years. I've never called it that. But
and a lot of people do.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. Everybody does think it's the Cottonwood Fairgrounds, but no.
We are definitely the Verde Valley Fairgrounds.
Verde Valley, right. You support everybody in the Verde Valley. And
it's our community fairgrounds.
It is, right. So tell us a little bit about the history of the fairgrounds. Do you know when it started?
So back in the 40s, they used to hold the fair down in Old Town Cottonwood on the kids' park.
Yeah, right.
The playground there. Yeah. Not the playground, but
the
anyway,
activity park.
Yeah, the activity park. And they would bring the animals in and they would tie them off and they'd have fences and that sort of thing. And then in the late 60s, there was 7 people here in the Verde Valley that put up personal money to buy the land to build the fairgrounds on. And so then they started the Verde Valley Fairgrounds in the late 60s where it's at its current location.
Right, wow.
If you look at old photographs, there's even an old airport landing strip there.
Oh, wow. Cool.
It's really cool. It's fun to see the old pictures of the fairgrounds.
I love that, yeah.
So then everything was built by volunteers, and the fairgrounds was only open for the fair most of the time.
Right.
And then every once in a while it would more activity, less. It was, ebb and flow.
Right.
But everything was done on the backs of volunteers.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And they would come out and they would do the weeds, and they would build the fences, and they would build the barns, and it was all with volunteers, 100%.
Right.
And so then in the late 90s, early 2000s. Then there started to be a part-time staff, and then it slowly got more and more and more. And now we've got it built up where there's I'm full-time and there's a full-time maintenance person, a part-time receptionist, and a part-time maintenance person. And then of course the most important person is our custodian, and she makes us.
She's awesome. Yeah,
she's incredible.
No, I know. Yeah,
I know.
I've dealt with her quite. She's awesome.
She is the light at the fairgrounds.
Right.
So we really, like right now, we're doing a lot of construction projects, goals.
So that's kind of your downtime a little bit.
No,
not even. Really?
No, we.
Because I was gonna say, you've always got stuff going on.
July and August, we only have like 2 events a month, and that's literally our downtime anymore. January sometimes is a little slow, but not this year. I'm booked up into 2021 now.
Right. So tell us about some of the annual events you guys host.
So some of the annual events, people rent our facility for gun shows, or they rent our facility for goat shows.
I saw the long-haired goats, right?
Oh my gosh. They're also called fainting goats.
Oh yeah. Right. They just pass out.
Yes, you scare them. It's kind of me on a Saturday night at 1 o'clock in the morning. So we just added, about 2 weeks ago, a rabbit and cavy show. So that'll be happening the end of November.
Would love that one. Yeah.
It's open to the public.
Yeah.
These things are all open to the public.
Right? So tell us, how can people find out about them? You got an online
at the Chamber
calendar?
of Commerce,
right? Always.
And at vvfair.com.
vvfair.com. Okay,
and that is really where we post stuff.
Right.
We don't.
You have Facebook too, though, right?
We do have a Facebook.
That's where I found out about the long-haired goats.
The goats.
It was on the Facebook
and I said,
page,
"Will you please give me information so I can post it?" And they're like, "Oh, I never thought of that."
Right.
So it's also us learning.
Yes.
Ask that ahead of time, not the day of.
Sure.
So getting that. We have goat show, the rabbit show. We have gun shows. We have annual events. We have camping. Annual camping events.
Oh, really? Yeah.
We do.
Cool.
We have clubs.
Yeah.
They're about every 3 years they come. There's one that comes every year for the whole state.
Right.
And so it's really kind of cool.
That would be great to come. They're kind of centrally located in town there, and within 20 minutes, they've got the entire Verde Valley to go and do things. And
you got the train. You've got Out of Africa.
You have Blazin' M. You've got
Tuzigoot. You have Montezuma Castle.
Yes.
So it's really popular for RV rallies.
Right.
So we have one right now going on.
Yeah.
They come in from all over the state. It's an exposure to our community.
Right.
And so I have brochures at the fairgrounds to hand to them so that they know where to go. And they're always like, I'm only staying 3 nights. And like 4 nights later, 5 nights later, I'm like, your event is over. You're still here. But they're like, we just found this. We have right now a lot of, with our OHV roads.
Right.
We have so many rigs coming in with their side-by-sides.
Toy haulers and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, coming in.
And they can leave right from the fairgrounds.
Right.
If they're licensed, they leave right from the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And a group just told me about this new Road 8, so now I got to go try it.
Yeah.
I got to get out there and try it.
I got to go with you because I've got I've got a
side-by-side.
No, I've got a dual-seater Polaris, but you guys got
2 double-seaters.
Yeah, right.
But I don't want somebody driving me. I want to drive.
No, I want to drive. That's the fun of it, right?
And they told me on this Road 8 that it's drop-off on both sides, so I'm not so sure.
Where does it go? Or where at?
He said he went up 525 to 525C to something 8.
Wow. Well, let's go search. Let's go find it.
I'm a little scared if there's a drop-off.
No, it's fine. You just got to stay on the road. We got sidetracked a little bit there.
Sorry. So that's about our RV camping.
Right.
And arena events.
Yeah.
And
you just had your fall festival.
That's
an amazing event.
It's a great community event. And again, we're talking community, which is run by volunteers. It's 100% free. So there's no parking fee. There's no entrance fee. We did put a donation bucket because people are like, it can't be free. We're like, it is. So we put a donation bucket for scholarships.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So
you're always thinking community. You know, I love that about you.
I love our community.
I know, right?
It's our community.
Right.
So the Fall Festival originated for clubs and organizations. You always hear there's nothing to do around here.
Yeah, but there's
Baloney.
a ton. I know, right?
There's a ton to do. I'm exhausted. But that's how we started Fall Festival.
Right.
And it's the last Saturday of October. And we are going to have it on Halloween next year, which is a big for me. But clubs and organizations, it's a way to put your name out there and get volunteers. And you get a free booth as a club.
Right.
You have to have a free game for the kids that come.
Right.
So we have arts and crafts booths that they have to pay for their art and craft booth.
Right.
We had 50 of them. So that's for the parents.
Right.
But for the kids, these clubs and organizations, churches, the Yavapai College, they were all there showing what they're about because it's their community.
Showing their wares.
There is something to do. You just have to look.
Right.
And you can volunteer. You can always volunteer.
Always volunteer, right.
You can read to kids. You can go to the library. You can go to the Chamber of Commerce. You can come to the fairgrounds. Well, I like art. We have an art program.
Right.
I like cooking, the college. You know, there's so many places, and it's, you know.
You just got to look. You got to open your eyes to look, and you got to listen, right?
Yeah.
And be a little bit more engaged, right? Yeah.
Come to the fairgrounds. I'll tell you where to go. Right. And that. And so I just love our community, and that's why I'm always so involved. In the fairgrounds, that's what we're about. We're about youth. Youth is first. Youth activities do take priority.
Sure.
And then we go from there.
That's great. So we're going to tell people a little bit more. It's facebook.com/Verde Valley Fair if they want to see you on Facebook, and they should go back and like your page and see all of the wonderful things that are going on there. And then, of course, the website is vvfair.com, right? And we've got a calendar of events and everything there. So another, just because when we were talking about the Fall Festival, the log hauling, what was that one?
So
that looked really interesting.
So I always have to add something new.
Yeah.
And so I threw out this, hey, I need something new. And so Wendy Parkinson, she got the log skid.
Right.
And it's the way that the draft horses used to get the logs out of the forest.
Right.
And so she brought in teams. Of horses, and there was a few drafts, very few drafts, but a lot of minis. And they had these horses do competitions and race and that sort of thing.
So they're dragging them through cones or over
bridges and all this stuff and controlling them.
Yeah.
And then they even at the end, when they were done with their demonstration, they're like, okay, we're going to play here. And people didn't leave the stands. They stayed there and watched because they took the teams apart.
Right.
And these horses don't work independently. They work as a team.
Right.
And so they really struggled to get them through the obstacles.
Sure,
it was very
they
interesting.
Couldn't work without the other, the other horse. That's interesting.
And we also had the tractor pull guys.
Right.
They wanted the draft horses to pull the tractor pull. I said, I'm not
Let's talk about tractor pulls in just a minute. We got to take a quick break and come back, okay? And then we'll talk about that because this is another one I love. All right, folks, we'll see you in just a minute.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
Welcome back to Rediscover the Verde Valley, and as usual, Coleen is always getting me in trouble. I love you, hon. Yeah, we have so much fun together. Yes, anyways, I have Coleen Gilboy with the Verde Valley Fairgrounds Association is here sharing some great information with us about the fairgrounds and all of the wonderful events. One of the ones that is near and dear to my heart is our Cottonwood Christmas Parade, and this is our 65th year, right?
How can that happen? I know.
Right? So staging, and actually Coleen is our, what was your title?
I'm not going to go there.
Director Extraordinaire. How's that?
Well, that's a better one. It uses
like
the same letter.
Yeah. Oh, Coleen. So tell us a little bit about the fair, and about the parade. And why you're doing it.
I love the parade. I love it's the community again. And that sort of thing, and all the kids. So I did Girl Scouts for many years, and I loved being in the parade with all those kids, but I was always scared when the horses were in the next one in line, and so I went and helped Susie Beach, who did it for
doing it forever, probably for the first 60, 59.
And well, actually, I met quite a few people, like Terry Fabritz from up at the Credit Union, Anderson from American Heritage. All of them have been on the Cottonwood Christmas Parade committee, and it's all volunteers again. And so I just was like, can we move the horses to the arena and just bring them in when it's time? So they're like, if you got, you're on the committee. You made a suggestion. So I came on the committee and I loved it. And Susie and I worked together for quite a few years, and then she needed to move, and so I took over, and I've got an amazing group that helps me every year.
Put on a great parade every year.
Oh, we have such a wonderful time. And so this year our theme is Candyland Christmas, and I know people are like, I don't like that theme. Well, maybe you liked one of the previous themes, but we gotta
change it up.
We gotta change it up.
I talked to a couple of people yesterday that were at one of my training things, and they came up with some really good ideas I'm going to share with you later. So
I'm excited. So we started in 2012 when it was the 100th anniversary of the state of Arizona. Doing more obscure and not your normal themes. And that parade was incredible. They took the 5 C's of Arizona and they made them their own. They owned them. Some of them did the 5 C's of Arizona, but others made up their own C's. So each year it's been a little harder. The committee gets a lot of suggestions for everything. And so this year it's Candyland Christmas, and this is what somebody gave me. They said, we have sugar plum fairies dancing in our heads as we prepare for the 2019 Cottonwood Christmas Parade. Bring your sweet tooth as we celebrate the start of the oh-so-sweet Christmas season. And that really is it, because the same day is our chocolate walk. And so, again, it's Christmas, and you can take Candyland, you can do the game. You can do Hansel and Gretel. You can do anything.
And when you read that, sugar plums dancing in my head,
the night before Christmas.
Exactly. There's a ton of things that you can do with that, and I think that's maybe where people struggle, is they get stuck on Candyland Christmas and they don't think about the...
Just take it and go with it. And I haven't heard anything this year about what people are doing. Sometimes I hear whispers.
Nobody shared anything with me either this year.
I know, so I'm really excited. But it's really just go.
So let's wrap up some of the information here, because we're almost running out of time. We've got, so the theme is Candyland Christmas. We are going to do Best Commercial Float. We'll get a prize, correct?
And we do money prizes. We don't do trophies anymore. But people like money. Small group, 0 to 20 members. And that we don't have as many of those as we used to. Now they're all larger groups.
They're all large.
But large group is 21 plus. Best community spirit given to the entry that is interesting, inspirational, and innovative. So that's a fun community. There's that word
again. It's all about it, So the date is Saturday, December 7th, which is also Pearl Harbor Day.
I know.
So that's also another possible theme to consider, right?
Well, we did
with one of the first ones, right?
But
so we can change up and do some things. It's kind of nice. So check-in time is 9 a.m. at the Verde Valley Fairgrounds.
And you'll be seeing my daughter Stephanie. That's her volunteer time.
That's it,
and she'll be checking you in at the fairgrounds. If you're bringing a float, it comes in through the north end of the kids' park. The walkers come in the main entrance of the fair.
And we'll have people at both of those entrances guiding people.
Guiding. Volunteers are needed.
Departure from the fairgrounds is at 11 a.m. Is that
11
correct?
a.m. The fire truck sends off its sirens and off we go. And then we go all the way through Main Street, all the way down to Old Town. Past Bocce's, across to Cactus Street, and come back up. City of Cottonwood does do a shuttle service, so if you have a lot of walkers, there is a shuttle that takes the kids back to the fairgrounds, so you don't have to meet them down there. It gets a little clustered.
It can be,
it's not a fun day. So definitely take advantage of those shuttles from the City of Cottonwood up to the fairgrounds. And we are on Channel 2.
That's going to be great.
I know, I love it. And they told me I think they do it live, and I was like, oh, I can't even do it live. How do you do it? And then there is one very important award, and that is the Judges Award.
Yes.
And they have the hardest job, those volunteer judges, of making decisions. Right. And then they get to pick the one. Right. It doesn't have to have any reason. It's just their favorite.
Right. That's
and
awesome.
That's awesome.
Love it. Well, Coleen, thank you very much. I'm glad we got to spend a little time together. It's been a while since we've been able to catch up on things, so we can't let that happen anymore.
You got it.
I'm either going to have to go out to the fairgrounds or you're going to come to my office.
Perfect.
Me out to the fairgrounds.
Yeah. Right now, that's the way it's got to be.
All right, hon. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you and your time and everything you do for our community. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, folks. We'll see you next time. Thank you.